Hi, this is a wind down session, so let's start out by having a bolster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blankets if you have 5 blankets. If you don't, have some sort of pillow or a couple of pads, whatever you need. So these will be to lift our outer thighs, or these will be for our arms, and these will be to lift our outer thighs. Okay, so let's get started. It's Supta Baddha Konasana. Before we start our practice, I wanted to let you know about my online programs and workshops. Whether you're new to Iyengar yoga and want to learn the basics in a systematic way, a seasoned practitioner looking to revisit the essentials, or a yoga teacher seeking inspiration, these programs and workshops are self-paced, allowing you to make consistent progress and revisit specific topics whenever you like. You can find the link in the description below. With that said, let's begin our practice today. When the abdomen is rested, when the legs are rested, there's more of a sense of the breath resting. Okay, so you're going to first take your strap, open your strap up, take your strap around your waist, and you want to bring the strap near your hip bone so that when you feel the strap on the lower back, it's on the lower back. So from the hip bone to the lower back. Okay, and then you'll sit on the floor, on your mat, sit in front of the bolster, and then you'll bring your legs into Baddha Konasana. So outsides of the feet, on the outside of on the mat, take your strap underneath the feet, and then start to pull the strap towards you. All right, and then before you get it too firm, too tight, just make sure it's below those hip bones. Okay, so you can have a little bit looser, and when you go down, you can, if you want to tighten the strap some, have the tail facing you versus having the tail the other way. So when you go down, you can pull the strap a little tighter, depending on your body. Okay, so to come down, press your hands down, and then I want you to tuck. So you're tucking the lower back, so you're lengthening the lower back. And I have these for the arms. So let me just adjust these rolled blankets. So I've just taken a regular blanket and I've rolled it. And I'm going to take this and bring it onto the sides of the legs. So I'm supporting the leg. There's not too much pull on the groin, so I can relax. Tucking the pelvis, coming down. Have the middle of the spine right in the center of that bolster. And then you can take your blanket and adjust your blanket. So you bring your blanket all the way up to your shoulders. Now, when you come down like this, if the chin is lifting, then you can make, this is pretty thin blanket, so I'm going to fold it again. So just make it the height that you need to so that the forehead is dropping toward the chin. So you don't want to be with this lifted chin. You'll get compression in the neck. So taking your hands at the back of the head where the occipital bones are and just tilt your head. The throat will soften. And then just make sure that you've got these blankets on the outer sides of the thighs. Now the blankets here, depending on how high your bolster is, you may want to support your arms. So I've got the blankets folded in such a way that it's folded in threes, so it's a little bit more narrow, so it's high. And then I just adjust the shoulders. Now I think I can bring this in a little bit. So just feeling that the outer arm is supported and the forearm is supported. The hands are supported. Okay, and then all you have to do is be here. Once you're here, you have all of that adjusted. Just observe your lower back and see. Do you need to release the buttocks down? In case the buttocks flesh gets caught and it's lifted up toward the lower back, you can just press the buttocks down toward the heels. You can also press into the feet. So I can bring the feet away from me, which will then bring weight and pressure onto that strap. So I can feel the strap pulling against the lower back to extend and lengthen. All right, so now just want to become quiet, relax the breath, So observe the breath here in the abdomen, observe the breath in the throat. We'll just be here for a few minutes. So of course, these postures that we're going to do in this segment, you can stay as long as you want. So depending on how much time you have, if you're doing this at nighttime to kind of wind down to get ready for bed, or if you're in the middle of your day and you just need to have a little bit of a break. Okay? So collarbones are wide, the chest is lifting, you're spreading, shoulders are moving down, and you can feel that support of the arms so you're not straining in the chest. If at any point you feel that you need to adjust your props, then you come up and do that. If your bolster is too high or too low, you can adjust by, if it's too low, adding a few blankets, or too high, just having this support. Relax your face, relax your jaw. As you exhale, feel that the exhalation is getting a little bit longer. As you watch the exhale, releasing through the nostrils. Stay with the breath. When we observe the breath, it naturally slows down. Observe what you notice when you watch your breath. Can you feel where you're breathing? As you're on that bolster, the back body, the back ribs are supported there and they're fixed. Let the chest lift away from that. Just one more minute. You can swallow, let your lips soften, let your jaw soften, and relax the throat. Take a few more lengthened exhalations. All right, we're going to prepare to come up now, so you can bend your elbows, bring your hands onto your body. Take your hands down onto the floor, lift up, come up, and take your strap off. And just bring your strap to the side. We'll use the strap later. You can take your blankets to the side as well. We'll still use the blankets, but we'll set them up differently. Okay, you're going to have a bolster now. I have 2 blankets, so it's like we were using these blankets before for the arms. So it's 1 blanket in half, and then I'm bringing it back to thirds. So I'll show you from this side. So that full blanket, and I'm going back 1/3 and then folding it back 1/3. Okay? And I'm going to stack 2 of those blankets on top of one another. Now, depending on your body and depending on your blankets, some of your blankets may be thicker, some thinner. These are fairly thin. So I've taken 2, and I'm going to bring that right under the chest. Okay, this blanket is for my head, and I'm going to roll a little bit of it once I get down for the neck. So that will depend on you, how much you need, or if you even want that. Okay, this bolster will be for your legs. So I'll start with the bolster underneath the knees. So the knees are supported here. The abdomen will be fairly quiet again. So coming down, moving your hips away, and then position the blanket so it's right underneath the upper back, right down from the heart. Okay, and then I'm going to bring my head down. Now, depending on you, how much you've taken in blankets, if your shoulders don't reach the floor after you've taken your arms back, so you'll rotate the arm, get that external rotation. You can start with your knees bent, keep your feet on the floor. Press your feet and slide yourself down so the shoulders start coming down onto the floor. And if they don't come to the floor, you could take one of your blankets away, make the height a little bit lower, or build this up, and you can bring the blanket right underneath your shoulders. If that's the case and you still want some support under your neck, then you'll take another blanket there. Okay, so I'm just going to use this blanket, and I'm going to roll it just one because it's a thin blanket, and I'm going to bring it right there at the back of the head, right at the neck. Okay, and then I get that external rotation on the arms. So the shoulders are on the floor, forearms are on the floor, palms relaxed, and then extend the legs out. Okay, so here the legs are externally rotating. I can feel that I'm placed evenly on both sides of the buttocks, and I lengthen the lower back. So if you're there and you feel like your lower back or your buttocks is lifting up towards your lower back, then make that adjustment. Take your hands, drag the flesh down. Okay, so you'll be here for a few minutes, and you want to make sure that you have that space in the lower back, and then, of course, the abdomen is quiet, the chest is lifted, and the throat is relaxed. So just be there. Because everyone is a little bit different. So the props that I took may be not the props that you take. You may need higher or lower. So just take time to work out that adjustment. So when you're here, you can let go completely. You don't have to think about, oh, a shoulder doesn't feel right, or the hips aren't right, or any other imbalance. Just take the support you need. So now we'll just be here another few minutes, maybe 3 minutes or so. So just let your breath relax. Let your abdomen relax as you exhale. And as you inhale, feel the breath in the chest. You don't have to over-breathe. Just let your breath be completely relaxed. Not trying to exhale too much or inhale too much. So feeling where you're positioned on the back of the head so that you feel balanced. And your chin is slightly moving down towards your chest. So when we throw our chin up, it creates some compression in the back of the neck, and it overextends the throat. Let your jaw relax. And as you release the jaw, feel that release right back through the ear, through the outer ear. Soften the ears. And as you create that release in the ear and the jaw, feel that space come across the cheekbones, right into the temples, right alongside the eyes, that space there. If you've been on a computer or you've been busy, we look outward a lot. Sometimes we strain to see. especially if you're on any one of your devices. You can tire your eyes out, and that strain, before you know it, is giving you tension throughout the head. So now let the eyebrows relax, between the eyebrows, and across the forehead. As you release further, right through from the top of the forehead, the skin, the top of the head, the back of the head, all the way through the back of the neck. Staying for another couple of minutes. Notice if there's anywhere that you can release further. But mainly, releasing your brain, from the front brain to the back brain. Let go of your thinking. Let go of the thoughts as they come. Come back to the breath each time. Feeling that breath in the center of the heart, center of the chest. Breathing into the front of the chest from the back. All right, we're going to prepare to come up. So bend your elbows, take your hands on your chest. And then here, you're going to bend your knees, bring the feet onto the floor or your bolster. And you'll lift up and come over onto your side. You can bring your arm above your head and rest your head. And then coming up gently, press your hand down and come up. Okay. Now you're going to take your blankets just to the side, and you'll have 2 bolsters. So I have a sandbag. If you have a sandbag or something heavy, or even a bolster, you can bring the bolster. We're going to put this on the legs. So I have 2 bolsters, end on end, and then I have a blanket here. That will be where my head is. Okay? So I'm using the sandbag to keep the legs together. If you don't have a sandbag, you can also use a strap right around the calf. Okay, but today it's kind of nice to have that extra weight. So I'm going to bring that sandbag there, and it will roll down if I don't come down first. So I'm going to keep my knees bent, feet on the bolster, and then I'm going to have my hands on the side and slide down. So I want the skin and the whole back body to move down. So if your shirt is tight up to your neck, just make some space. Instead of lifting your body up here, when you slide, it helps to release the shoulders down, and it moves the shoulder blades in the correct direction. Okay? So now I'm straightening the legs, and I have that sandbag there. So I don't have to think about the legs too much, although I don't have it even. So I'm going to come up a little bit. Sandbag, you have to make sure that sand is distributed evenly. Okay, so I'm going to adjust that. Or if you had that strap, it would be around your calves in the same place. Here, also, if your lower back is your buttocks lifting up, then adjust, bend your knees, and tuck the buttocks. So by sliding down with my feet on the bolster, my knees bent, I was sliding from the shoulders down through the upper back, middle back, lower back, and everything was moving down this way. But if for some reason you didn't get that direction with your buttocks, then just adjust. And then take your arms out to the side. Back of the head is right on the floor. So now the chin is moving down toward the or the chest is, sorry, the forehead is moving down toward the chin, toward the chest. The chest is lifted quite a bit. All right, so you're getting more of a lift of the chest than you are straining the chin to go to the chest. So it's just a natural tilt with the back of the head lengthening, the chin dropping down, and then the throat is relaxed. Okay, relax the arms. Get that same rotation of the shoulders. So bringing your arms in this position, imagine you're holding 2 heavy bottles of water. And from there, you're holding those and rolling them back. So as you do that, you get that rotation in the arm and in the shoulder. Okay, so you don't want your shoulders lifting up. So that's a good way to imagine it, with that rolling of those bottles, and just rest your hands on the floor. Relax your toes, relax your feet. Let the calves completely release down, soften through your knees. Often in SetuBanda, we do that in a more active way. Here, this is SetuBanda in a very relaxed way. So the feet are not so active. You can still press the heels away so that the back of the leg is lengthening, but just with that weight, it helps you to relax the feet and the legs a little bit more than the strap. Thighs descending. And as you descend the thighs, the abdomen releases down. So we hold a lot of tension in the abdomen, and sometimes we have a lot of pain in the abdomen, depending on if you have any kind of pull in your lower back, or maybe you have menstruation, or you might have pulled a groin or something like that. So sometimes there's a lot of tension in this area. So this is a nice way to just be there, be with your breath, and release. Chest is lifted again, shoulder blades moving down towards your heels, but also the shoulder blades are moving up towards your chest. So the shoulder blades are flat on your back. So instead of them moving away from your back, they're moving in towards your chest. So just helps to know the direction of the bones and what should be happening. Helps you get into the correct position. And when you're atomically lined up, then the muscles can relax. If you're overdoing on one side, then you're going to have strain on one side of the muscle, or one muscle on one side of the bone versus the other. So here, just coming into a position where you can release. And I'll just not say much now, for you just to relax, come back to the breath for another 3 minutes or so. Let your thoughts go. Let your breath go. Notice any tension anywhere and bring the breath to that area. Elongate the breath. Again, let the face soften. Soften the throat, relaxing your jaw. Soften the eyelids. And release the eyes downward toward the center of the head. Inner corners of the eyes moving down, outer corners moving to the side. We'll stay one more minute. Observe the left side of your body, the right side. Are you gripping anywhere through the back body, the buttocks or the thighs, the shoulder? When you stay a little while and you're supported, you can notice any imbalances that you have. Sometimes we support those imbalances like we did with the arms, having the blankets underneath the arms. So if it was major difference in the right and the left, then you could support the arms so the arms could completely relax. All right, we're going to come out now. So you're going to bend your elbows, bring your hands onto the body, and then you can release that sandbag down, bend your knees. Just keep your knees bent for a moment. And then you're going to roll onto your right side. So I'll bring my arm above and then roll over and press yourself up. Okay, so you must be starting to feel very relaxed. So we'll go into the next posture. So what I'd like you to do is get your bolster, a blanket, and a block. Okay, we're going to take that to the wall. I didn't mention the strap, but I think you had the strap earlier. So here's a strap that we're going to bring around our calves again. I've set this up where you have one bolster close to the wall, Viparita Karani, and instead of taking the block, I've just rolled a little bit of the blanket here. I find sometimes the block is too high, so it depends on your bolster. If it's high or if it's lower, you can bring the block there just as a little bit of a spacer. Okay, so either that or the blanket. So sometimes if you go into this, the bolster will go toward the wall. I want you to have a little bit of space between the wall and your bolster so you can sink your hips down. Okay, we're going to bring the legs up the wall. You're going to start at the end of your bolster. If you start in the middle, you'll end up with your legs over here. So just have the strap. You can bring it all the way onto the legs just to begin with, but not too tight. You can tighten it a little bit when you go up. Have it tight enough it doesn't fall. Okay, and then you're going to swivel your hips and turn them. So now I'm in the center. And I've got that blanket wedge there so that I can hold onto that bolster. It doesn't go to the wall, and now there's space for my hips to go down. So here I will tighten that strap. Got it right around the calves, the widest section of the calf. And then here, you're going to lengthen your back and lift your chest and get that same rotation of the arms. Here, you could place your sandbag on your feet again. Okay, if you have a block, you can bring the block onto the feet. You can maneuver that, or if you have a helper there, you can bring it. Rotate the arms again, so you're getting this. This is the front of the armpit. So this front armpit chest is lifting up, back armpit chest is turning, and then just be there. Let the weight of the legs sink down into your pelvis. As the leg moves down, the pelvis is level. All right, so this is called Viparita Karani. And that means still lake. So if you imagine the space here is a lake, we've talked about this in other episodes. The pubic bone is at the bottom. That's one edge. The front ribs are the top edge, and then the hip bones are there. So in that space, imagine there's a body of water there. So you do have liquid inside you. You also have organs. So you want that area to become quiet and calm. So as you sink the legs down, the femur bone into the pelvis, that softens the abdomen and brings some relaxation, bringing the breath into a quiet, calm state. Bring the toes together. And you don't have to draw the toes back down towards you, but you can kind of stretch the ball of the foot up. Okay? So it's not that we're actively firming the legs. But if you've been practicing, they'll naturally, the kneecap will lift, hips move down, but let your toes just relax and soften and spread. Feel the shoulders even on the floor and the chest lifting equally. You can feel that bolster in the back. And now just come back to your breath. Extend your exhalation. So depending on what you've been doing in your day, bringing your legs up the wall is really rejuvenating anytime during your day, whether it's winding down for getting ready to sleep or just having a break. If you've been on your feet all day, or you just want to be a little bit more rejuvenated, you might want to do this after you've been working and then you're going out later. So just depending on you and your lifestyle and what's happening in your life, it's a great pose to come back to. This tremendous circulation that's happening from the legs downward and into the abdomen. So it relaxes your nervous system and it relaxes the legs. If you have any kind of ankle injury or swelling or varicose veins or anything like that, this will be a really nice posture to relax the legs, feeling that quietness come, that heaviness down as you connect the legs into the pelvis. Stay with your breath. Be aware of your inhalation. Be aware of your exhalation. And while you're there for the next minute, observe the length of the inhalation. Observe the length of the exhalation. You can let the exhalation be a little bit longer. But it's only by knowing what the length is of the inhalation and the length of the exhalation that you can make that decision. What's a little bit longer? Maybe a count of 2. We often want to talk, whether it be out loud or to ourselves. Could be singing or humming. So just letting the throat relax. All right, we'll prepare to come up now. So just take your hands by your chest. Of course, you can stay in any of these postures a little bit longer. Take your strap off. And then to come out of this one, press your arms against your bolster and slide off. Slide your hips off until your hips come onto the floor. And then you can just bring your feet together. Back is on the floor now. We're in Baddha Konasana, but the back is on the floor instead of having the chest lifted on the bolster. We'll just stay a few breaths. And then we'll turn to the side. Bend the knees, roll to your side, and then press up. Okay. One way you can do this is just to be aware of the different postures that we're doing in this, and if you want to stay in one longer than another, if you have that, you can then either fast forward or just on your own, practice on your own. Okay, so now we're going to take the bolster in the center, and we're doing a bit of a twist, okay? So we're going to put the bolster here, and then bring your hips onto the floor. All right, I have my knees bent, my feet over to the side. There is a blanket that you could use in case you need to have your head supported. So just have it handy in case that's what you need. Fold it, and then have it on the end of your bolster. So I'm going to lay the whole side trunk and the abdomen. So if I laid down like this, I'd be on my side. So I'm on the side of the hip and the side of the leg, but I'm turning toward that bolster. So the abdomen is on the bolster. So it's a little bit of a twist. You can have that blanket folded in such a way that you can either bring your forearms onto the blanket and then rest your forehead so that the nose is not crushed down to the bolster. And then just allow yourself to be there. So you're turning the back. So this helps the lower back in case you have any tension or tightness in the lower back. You may not need the blanket. You could just have your forearms. So it depends on your body and what you feel that you need. You could even take more support. So as you're there, feel the abdomen. You can feel the breath in the abdomen. And then be aware of the back of the body. So you breathe into the back ribs, the rib cage, as well as you do the front and the sides. So in most of the postures, we've been on our back. So just feeling the breath in the back body and where you feel it. Try and breathe into the left and the right equally. All right, and then release. Coming up, you're going to turn to your other side. So I'll just swivel to the side, bringing my legs over to the side. Bring your legs in a comfortable position. So you want to tuck a little bit onto that outer hip, and then make sure you're in the center there. So when you turn, your abdomen is going to be supported on that bolster. So you're turning from the back toward the front. Breathe into the back. And as you do that, let the back soften, the muscles between the rib cage, the abdomen, making sure the shoulders are relaxing down. You're not lifting the shoulders up. There's no tension there. Lengthen your exhalation. All right, and then you'll come up. Use your hands, press yourself up. Now we're going to have a chair. Okay, so we're sitting in Upa Vista. If this is difficult for you, you can also sit in cross-leg position. We're going to go forward on the chair. I'm sitting on this bolster, but you may not need that bolster. If you don't, then you can remove it. So I'm going to come back to Upa Vista, and then I'll bring the chair in. Now you can either have the arms on the chair. If the back is rounding and you're not able to go forward, then you can build it up and have the bolster there. You wouldn't need the blanket. And then rest your arms and rest your forehead. If you're in cross-leg position and you have some support under your hips, just make sure that support is balanced and even, and then you can come forward. So you're leaning forward. This is from the tailbone, from the lower spine, lifting up as if you were an airplane taking off. So you're not rounding, but you're getting that extension and length, and then rest your forehead. If you're in Upa Vista, you'll keep your legs wide. If you've crossed your legs in Sukhasana, after a little bit, we'll change the cross on the legs. So from here, your lower back is getting some length. The abdomen is getting some space. And you're no longer over a bolster from the back or under the hips, so you can feel the breath, front body and the back body, a little bit differently. Be aware of the breath. Let your head relax completely. Let your thoughts go. As you support your head on your arms, let your shoulders relax. Stay with that relaxed breath. Just be aware of the abdomen so that it's not moving toward the legs too much, but there's from the pubic bone to the navel, a lift and a length that is happening because you've got your arms and your trunk lifted up. If you were in a more rounded position, your navel would be moving back, your abdomen would be sinking. So here you have some space, your front ribs and your diaphragm are moving away from your pelvis. Change the cross on your legs. Or if you're in Upa Vista and it's becoming uncomfortable, then come into Sukhasana. The idea is you want to be completely relaxed, so you're taking the support that you need so that you don't have to think about any position, any injuries, any tension. Again, extending your exhalation. Sometimes it's difficult to allow yourself to relax. Just like in Savasana, it's one of the most difficult poses. We have a tendency to want to be doing, moving, speaking, thinking. So letting all that go right now. With each exhalation. You're going to prepare to come up now, so inhale. Use the arms, press against the bolster, and come up. Okay, we're going to lie down in Shavasana now. You can take the chair to the side. And this time, you're going to have your legs lifted instead of your chest lifted. You can have a blanket for your head. And you'll use that sandbag again. Okay, so the bolster's here toward the end. Your sandbag is here. or you can have some bolsters. You're sitting on the floor, and then that bag will be there. It's going to help to maintain the legs in that position. And then as I go down, drawing the buttocks down, lower back's lengthening, and then I have that blanket for the back of the head. Just let your feet part slightly, let your toes roll out, and then press your arms down, lift your chest, move your shoulder blades down, but then as they come onto the ground, they're lifting up toward the chest. So you're getting that spreading, and then bring your arms out to the side. Remember that rotation that we got with the arms, the shoulders, so turning the arms, turning the shoulders, and then bring the hands out and let them be completely supported. Curl your fingers in just naturally, as if there was a weight in the hands. And just scanning yourself, see is there anywhere that you could release further. Maybe the front ribs move down, so observe your front ribs aren't lifting. Sometimes the middle of the back gets caught and it moves down toward the buttocks, so you can move that middle back up slightly, which will help to bring those ribs down. So we're going to stay here for another 5 minutes. Be right in the back of your head. I hope this helped you to get a little bit more relaxed. Relaxing the body, the muscles, the bones, and the nervous system. Stay with your breath. Namaste.